Welcome. We're about ready to start our program. All right. It's a beautiful day for soccer. You know, thanks for coming. We're not only here for soccer, but just to celebrate a little bit the excitement and the hard work and the bright ideas coming out of our Cupertino City government, the Parks and Recs Department. You know, as our coaches travel the state, we have a lot of traveling selectees. They tell us that here in Cupertino, we have one of the most far-sighted and advanced organizations in really developing facilities to really give our kids more places to play and update them, having enough fields. We have some neighbors very close by that are always in a tight bind. So our people are really on the go, trying to improve all the time. I think they deserve a hearty thanks for that. One of the other things that's very nice about the way they handle the management of the fields is I think they're very open to realizing that the fields, while governed by the government body here, they belong to the people, and they're very open about wanting us to get full use out of them and being very happy and friendly when we call them about problems. And I think that says a lot about the positive way they run the government and the fact that they're thinking about us first. Let's give them another hand for that. I don't know how many of you came out here early, but we've had a few people come out and sneak around, kicking a few balls the past week or so, checking things out. And some of us noticed there was a Sunnyvale truck out here the other day. I don't know, there's two stories that go behind that. Someone was claiming from the city of Sunnyvale there was a sewer main problem they're working on, and we saw them digging down. Another story says they were actually tunneling in to check out what we're doing here in Cupertino. We would have stopped to it right away and sent that truck packing. But anyway, as well, we're very, very pleased that the city of Cupertino also realizes that soccer is perhaps the fastest growing sport in America, with over 20 million people, adults and kids, playing soccer regularly. So we're pleased that this is mainly a soccer facility. In recognition of that, again, thank you very much, Parks and Rec. And here is Stephen Dowling, the director of the Parks and Rec for Cupertino. Thank you very much.
That usually happens when I step up to a microphone. I'd like you to think it's because of my magnetically charged personality. Probably has something to do about staff revenge. Well, as Steve said, we are here to celebrate. We are celebrating the transformation of this site, which has a long and rich history of serving children in particular and the community in general. So to celebrate, I get the privilege of introducing to you the people that made this transformation a reality. And I want you to understand as we go down our list this morning, and I'm introducing these people to you, we have absolutely no restrictions on applause. None of this let's wait to the last person stuff. So if the Spirit moves you, please give us an applause. To start us off this morning, I'm going to start at the top, because in this city, we benefit from a very enlightened council. It's my pleasure to present to you this morning your mayor, Dr. Michael Chang.
Good morning, everyone. How come I don't get that magnetically charged personality that Steve Dowling had? I guess I need to work on it. Really glad to be here to be able to join you on a very important occasion today. Are you ready to party? Are you happy? Are you ready to go? Very good. Okay, so I just want to say a few things, but before I start, I want to recognize my council members. We have here Don Burnett, Council Member Don Burnett. Sandra James has not been feeling well, and she was supposed to go to a conference, but she still made it here today because it's important. Sandra James. The conference that Sandra James would have been, had she not been not feeling well, is where our other council members are. Both John Staton and Vice Mayor Wally Dean. So unfortunately, they are not here today. But they are with us here in spirit because we have all been thinking about this park for a long time, just as you had, and we have been anticipating its opening for a long time too. In the State of the City speech I made, we mentioned 8 areas that are very important to the city, to myself, and to other council members. And certainly, enhancing the quality of life is one of the major ones. And today, we move forward one big step in enhancing the quality of life in Cupertino. Many people are involved in the success of this park. And if you look at your program, you will see many of the people listed in here. They all deserve recognition. And also the people that are not necessarily listed in here that have also participated. So there are many, many people. This park has a very, if I may say so, auspicious ancestry, because as we know before, this was the Fremont Older School. And for generations, it has served as a school that has bound a community together. And indeed, it is a very loyal community. It is a community that grew with the school, that grew up with the school, have children graduate from that school, and it is an emotional tie to that community. And we are here to salute the opening of the park, and knowing that that school has given way to a park which continues to serve young children in particular. We have a special heart for young children, but also everybody else. And I want to give special recognition to Fremont Older, to the community that is around this park, where it is so dear, that has worked so hard to make this park a collaborative success. The other thing about this park that makes us particularly proud to be Cupertinians is that, lest you forget, I want to remind you that Cupertinians did something pretty amazing. In 1990, we went to the polls, do you remember, Measure T, and agreed to tax ourselves so that we can have this park. Can you give us ourselves a round of applause? It has come a long way. Many people to recognize. I want to particularly recognize the Park and Rec Commission and all the people who have pushed for this. The Cupertino Union School District, the Fremont Older School that was here, and the Sedgewick School that it has since moved to. I know that Ruth, our sport leader, is here, the principal from that school, the neighborhood committees, the youth sport representatives that helped in the creation of the proper use for the park, and of course, the Parks and Rec department, especially Steve Dowling, or Steve, the magnetic Steve Dowling. And my guess is that one council member in particular deserves special recognition, being from in this neighborhood, being a mover, shaker, and a real proponent of this park, Don Burnett. Well, I have made my remarks, and welcome to the 12th park in our system, the only other community park in addition to Memorial Park. It's a 12-acre facility open for the enjoyment of Cupertinians today and many, many generations to come. Congratulations.
Thank you, Michael. Well, an individual that works very closely with City Council, I haven't seen him yet here this morning, is our city manager, Don Brown. There he is. Now, I know he's over there Bond over there pouting because we wouldn't let him come to this microphone this early.
Yeah, that's
But I do want you to know that as a city manager, Don is personally committed to open space and parks, and indeed personally spent his own time in the passage of Measure T. Again, our city manager, Don Brown. Representing you to City Council is a body called the Parks and Recreation Commission, and our next speaker is representing that commission, but also this person served as chair of our Master Plan Design Committee, and I want you to know that he did an excellent job for 2 years keeping us focused on the important issues of development. So with that, I'd like you to welcome Parks and Recreation Commissioner Dick Lohmiller.
Thanks, Steve. My job is to introduce the Park and Rec Commission. The current chair of that commission is Frank Gillinge. Frank, big tall guy in blue here. And our vice chair is Edie Stein, little short person over there. And another short person that been on the commission as long as I have, Bob Hopkins. And our newest commissioner who had another fair to go to today is Shalene Sheikh, and so that makes the commission. We have a former commissioner, but she's been promoted to consul, and that's Sandy James. And Bob Hendrickson, are you someplace around here? Another tall fellow who worked hard on this. I was fortunate to chair the 12-person task force. If you've ever chaired a 12-person committee, you know it's fun. And we had a lot of interest here, a lot of elements of the city. Michael mentioned that Don had a lot to do with the formation of this area. And I have to give credit to his wife, Nancy, because I saw Nancy at more events than I've ever been to. And by keeping the needs of this community focused to the city council, it really worked through the process. The Measure T, the financing vehicle for this site, the master plan committee put a lot of hours in here, a lot of the elements of the community. Not only soccer has been mentioned, baseball was also considered, even though we had Wilson over here. Their needs for a 90-foot diamond, we have a large space back here. The neighborhood element, trying to meld in the needs of the community with children down here to up here into an element that's also a regional soccer facility is quite a knack.
A couple other introductions. We also have another former commissioner right in the front row, Dean Scales. Dean, would you read this? Also, we have a representative from the Foothill de Anza College Board. Dolly Sandoval, are you somewhere by? There we go. On our master plan committee, your neighborhood was represented by our next speaker. I don't know how this person found time for this. She is probably one of the busiest people in the Western Hemisphere, but I can assure you that Wendy spoke to your neighborhood interests consistently. So let's welcome Wendy Armstrong.
Wow, there's a lot to be said for open space. In the words of my youngest son, the most important thing about Creekside Park is that it is grassy. The next most important thing, I think, is that it's close by. But the people are what have brought life to this park today. I've appreciated the opportunity to represent our neighborhood on the Master Plan Committee. We brought together a lot of voices from different park users, and our voices together have created what we see here today in this park. There were many compromises and many reasons why the park stands as it is today. We all tried to do our best for the community. As for our neighborhood, I think it's been a win-win-win situation. In '94, we received the newly built Sedgewick School across Miller Avenue. Today, we open the gates of this beautiful new park, and we also get to enjoy the bicycle pedestrian bridge, which will be a link from our neighborhood to the library, City Hall, in the Wilson Field. Creekside Park is evidence that youth count in Cupertino. May it remain a safe place. May it strengthen our community and our neighborhood relationships. And may we continue to prize it and value it. Thank you to Cupertino School District for selling this land to the city. Thank you to the City Council, the Park and Recreation Commissioners, to Steve Dowling and Don McCarthy, who represented the Park and Recreation Department on our Master Plan Committee. Thank you to all of you for making the needs of youth and the needs of our neighborhood a priority. We have a lot to take care of here at Creekside Park, and we have a lot to enjoy. Thank you.
At this point, I would like to present to you the person responsible for the name of this park. This gentleman is probably one of the most creative and enthusiastic public works directors you will ever meet. I present to you Bert Viskovich in the back. Creekside was his invention. Commissioner Lohmiller told me that based upon a few recent storms, perhaps it should have been called Oceanside. But of course, when we were planning all of this stuff, at some point, somebody had to take all of these great ideas and pick up a pencil and put it on paper. And I'm here to tell you today that we were blessed with a very creative and a very experienced landscape architect in this kind of a facility. So please join me in welcoming, from the firm of Beals Landscape Architecture Incorporated, J. Beals.
I think the first thing that I'd like to say is congratulations to this city for being visionary. This is not the first project I've had the pleasure of working on with the city. I was part of 9 school sites, or actually 8 school sites in the park, that enabled the entire youth sports movement and to be facilitated. And now this. You should be proud of yourselves as a community for what you have the vision to do, and in supporting your public administrators for enabling them to go through all the way and complete this to what you see today. I would like to open my hands to you. Thank you very much. People have talked about process a bit. This process took a little more than 3 years. The planning of this facility, after I got involved, before that it took longer. The planning of the facility was a year-long adventure for some of us. The task force that's mentioned in here, the Master Plan Committee, did great work for us and for you. Without their help and their ideas, we would not have been able to serve both the sports groups and the neighborhood as well as I believe we have. So I would like to thank the Master Plan Committee for their help in making all of this possible. I would also like to thank the design team that worked with us. It's nice that Steve said that it's me, but it's not me. It's a design team that works with me to make this possible. The building portion of this, Pam Brule or Anderson Brule Architects had a vision to come up with a structure that I think very well reflects the opportunities for community use. We did struggle a little bit with the unisex bathroom, as is mentioned, but I think the end result was very positive, so I'd like to recognize Pam Brule. Ken Nye of MTH was responsible for all of the electrical lighting that you see around this park. Mark Helton for Julia and Nicole. They are civil engineers that work with us, and they are part of the reason that though we've got tremendous rains and a lot of water, these fields today are playing. And I think that says a lot about the using innovation, which complements this city. And Ann Runley of Brookwater Design did the irrigation work and design. I would also like to thank the members of our Beals Landscape Architecture team for their work. Derek McKee was the project manager that worked with me from the beginning all the way through the end of the project. And Derek, hats off to you. Well done. Derek McKee. Chris Sullivan is Derrick's partner, and Chris has done a lot of work on this project and has been involved all the way from the beginning. I'd like to thank Chris Sullivan. Nicole Rodriguez is here today, and I would like to thank Nicole for her assistance and continued support within our office to make sure that we always stand up to what we say we do forever. She is our marketing coordinator. Nicole. And lastly, I'd like to say thank you to a man that doesn't come to these openings, but he's worked within the city and for the city since he retired. That's Travis Whitten. Travis Whitten is a person who has stood right on top of the designer, right on top of the contractor, and has had the foresight to make sure that this facility is number one. He's a person that I owe a great deal of thanks within the city, and I know he's not here, but I'd like to thank Travis Whitby for his assistance in making sure that the community's desires are actually real and you can plan. Thank you, Travis.
You've met most of the design team members. There's a couple more that I'd like to point out to you. Our community development director, Bob Cowan, was on that team. Another neighborhood representative is Ted Levine. Ted, you're here tonight, right? There he is. We had youth sports representative Bob Jackins for soccer. Ron Esparza for baseball. The school district was represented by Mr. Chuck Core, who was unable to be here today. And we had a representative from the First Baptist Church, Clint Stanford. Plenty here today? Okay. Well, you heard Jay talk about the designing of it, and after he finished designing it, somebody had to build it. And I think the end product speaks to the quality of this individual's work. If you would join me in welcoming from Robert A. Bothman Incorporated, the general contractor on this project, Brian Bothman.
Well, I'd like to thank Steve for giving us the opportunity to say something. Normally this doesn't happen with the contractor. Well, I guess let's reward for no litigation or anything in a project this size. Yeah. Anyway, I'd like to congratulate the staff and the community for creating the opportunity for Robert A. Bothman to build this beautiful facility. I personally am very proud to be part of the project team and be a part of mitigating a lot of the challenges that we met through the project. It's a year-long project. And on behalf of our project team, I'm honored to open this park not only to our children, but the future generations to come to enjoy it.
For the members of that team, you heard Jay talk about Travis Whitten, clearly a very important influence in this effort. Also, from Brian's office, Tim Asher was representing his office in the project portion. Other members of that committee are Don Harvey, Recreation Supervisor. Way in the back, our Service Center Manager, Bob Rizzo. Ground Supervisor, Joe Moore. Facility Supervisor, Jim Davis. And Assistant Engineering from Carmen Lana. Well, at this point, I'd like to change gears a little bit. Obviously, everything that you see in front of you today was for the benefit of first and foremost children. So it seemed very appropriate to have representation from the new Sedgewick School with us this morning. Now I'm going to introduce the members of the associated student body, and I'm going to ask each of them to stand up. And no, you don't have to wait till the end to applaud. I'd first like to start off with Alyssa Errol, Vice President. Oh, you're the historian. Ah. Jason, are you Vice President? Oh, we seem to have had a coup in this morning before the ceremony began. Thank you for correcting Alyssa. Secretary, Hillary Armstrong. Vice President Jason Saling. At this point, I'm going to have Sedgewick President Jackie Kolbeck speak to you about what this park means from her perspective.
Good morning and welcome to Creekside Park. I'm happy to see you here. My name is Jackie Kolbeck and I am here to speak on behalf of all the student council officers. We are all excited about the new Creekside Park. I used to go to Fremont Older School, so I am especially thrilled about the new school, the new park. It will give us a new and different place to play other than our school. It is a place to play sports such as soccer and basketball. And it gives us a place to practice for the upcoming track meet. We can play on the swings and rest in the shades. We can work on our homework here or think about things. Most of all, it gives us a place to spend time with friends and family. Say it all short, I think I speak for everyone when I say that I am delighted about the new Creekside Park. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
The future is indeed in good hands, is it not? Now it's time to honor what came before, and I can't think of any person more appropriate to do this than our next speaker. Many of you know her. Hopefully someday you all get to know her. In my opinion, she seems to personify what teaching can be. I'd like to present to you the former recipient of Cupertino Union School District Teacher of the Year, Sandy Potts.
I didn't really speak from this. I guess I haven't brought. I'm delighted to be here. About 1962 or so, the principal of Montclair School, Phil Kemp was his name, received information that a new school was going to be built in Cupertino. It's going to be open space and a team teaching concept, and he invited 7 teachers from Montclair to come and join him at the new facility. We got to go look at the plans and the processes of the school being built, and in the fall of 1966, the school opened. The weekend before school started, we were assembling desks and chairs. They arrived Saturday afternoon, and we only had a day and a half to get ready for that. The first week of school, they decided it must be time to pave the playground. That was fun. We had wet tar, blacktop for the first week of school. And a couple weeks later, then they decided it's time to pave the parking lot and driveway. So Mrs. Stromey back there probably remembers all that when her home was right adjacent to the driveway of Fremont School. And all the process of getting ready. Once got settled in, it was time to have a mascot and school colors and develop the school song. However, known then as the Fremont Older Wildcats. Our school colors at that time were black and gold. It was later on when they were closing up Doyle and Sedgewick and Eaton, when we combined, that we developed the new mascot, the Fremont Older Falcons. So, when we were trying to come up with a school song, Steve asked me about this and heard that it was my class that did it. I think it was a first grade class. Jill Burnett was in kindergarten at the time and was in my second first grade class. But I saw the Bozek family here, and their son was in my first class. And Mrs. Cartwright is here. I'm seeing familiar faces. But we started with writing home first. And of course, you know, first graders are great at rhyming words and all. And we looked at our skill. It was grand, and let's hope it would stand for a long time. And we really thought it was the best school. And so we did a lot of rhyming words, and we developed a poem. And thought it was just great. And we were going to get ready to submit it. We couldn't come up with a tune for it. I was not creative enough to develop a tune on my own. And one of the students in my class, Fred Parsons was his name, had just started with a drum and bugle for. And when we were saying the words to our school song, he was kind of beating along with it. He decided that it should go to the Marines Inn. And sure enough, it all fit. So that's how our school fund was developed. Wendy Armstrong was very instrumental in getting a plaque made for us for Creekside Park, and to commemorate the Fremont Older School, that was a beautiful redwood facility that we all love. And at the end, when it was time to say goodbye to it, a lot of people said, "Aren't you sad? You opened it and now you're closing it." But I was too excited about opening a brand new school too. And it is so wonderful to see what we have here. This is a beautiful, and every child all the way around is going to benefit from this. So I'm really not sad about seeing Fremont Older Farm.